Hello everyone, thank you for watching DevRelCon Tokyo 2021 speaker interview session. I'm today's host Taiji as the co-organizer of the conference. For this interview session, I'd like to introduce one of the awesome speakers and have chatting. It takes only 15 minutes. Please have fun. Today's guest is Gerard Sands. Please welcome Gerard.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very good. Very good. How are
Ah,
you?
good, thank you. Are you based? Where are you based in?
Oh, I'm based in South England, in
Oh,
in the middle of the countryside.
mhm,
Um, I lived in London for over 10 years, but just recently I moved over here.
mhm.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I see. So the now there are around 3 p.m.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep. By the way, how is the COVID-19 situation in UK?
Well, it's improving,
Uh-huh.
and just this last Monday, they open indoor restaurants
Hmm.
and businesses. So now you can go on and do shopping and maybe have a coffee.
Hmm.
There are still some precautions. There's some rules, but it's looking much better on
Hmm.
the figures. So the figures are looking really good.
Hmm.
Not so many cases, positives,
Hmm.
and yeah, it has changed a lot since the beginning of the year.
Hmm. I see. Sounds fine. The
Yeah,
yeah, I see. I'm I'm in Japan. So the in Japan also the kind of same as the other country, the same situation. So uh, in we of course the already that we are under the COVID-19 situation in Japan, but some restaurant, some cafe, or some convenience store, supermarket, or some any shops
yeah,
uh, now still open, and we can go if we are needed to go. Yep.
right, right.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
much better. It's much better than
Mhm.
than before. So
Yep.
before last Monday, we
Hmm.
could we could actually go, but only sitting outside.
Hmm.
At the terrace or maybe just outside,
Yeah.
in a
Great.
park or open
Hmm.
space.
Yeah, great. Sounds great. Okay, so the thank you for joining today, and
Sure.
yeah, this purpose of this session is for the audiences to know you, and for more people to be interested in your session of DevRelCon Tokyo 2021.
Right, right.
Right. Okay, so at first, could you please introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Gerard Sanz, as you were saying before. I'm originally from Spain, Barcelona, and yeah, a few years ago I moved to England. And regarding DevRel, what has brought me to prepare this talk for DevRelCon Tokyo is basically the journey that I went through this pandemic in the last year. So my experience is mostly in the community. So my background in DevRel started founding few communities in London. Right now, two of these communities are still running. One of them is GraphQL London, the other one is GraphQL San Francisco. And of course, from my own experience, I've been going through all of the different stages since I thought about creating a community, which initially was just a small workshop, and then it evolved into a proper uh, meetup. which it has been, reaching like good attendance and also expanding into San Francisco after London. Of course, through this journey, I learned how to, for example, find sponsors, how to, start a meetup on meetup.com, and then also finding the speakers and managing all the logistics. At the end of this process of this journey, which has been, I think, at least for 5 years now, it's been quite interesting, as lately I started running these meetups remotely. So when I moved outside London 2 years ago, I didn't want to close the community in London, so I started looking for volunteers and hosts so they could run the meetup for me. And I started with GraphQL London. Of course, I already had the contacts, the venue, and all the sponsors, so I could, give away, food and make the recordings for the sessions, etc. The most interesting bit was probably trying to open that same setup, the remote managing of that community in San Francisco. So that was a little bit more challenging because, of course, I'm based in England. So I was able to run this meetup remotely. Of course, there's a lot of volunteers, people from the community that are interested, but I was still running the logistics, which mainly finding a venue, finding the sponsors, and making sure that the speakers reach out and they are ready to do the event on the date. This journey was quite interesting. Of course, this is only one of the things that you may do as a DevRel. During this time, which was what started me in this field, which was the community management, then I got myself into public speaking, and somehow I got this title, the Google Developer Expert in Web Technologies and Angular. That was also the topic for the meetup, one of the meetups that I founded, one of the first meetup that I founded. And after I got the confidence to be in front of people, mainly as a host, and doing the tasks of getting all the things put together for the meetup, I also got slowly the courage to running some workshops. I got that, first courage to do public speaking, and then do my first talk. So it's quite interesting. Now it's been, I think, 6 years, and I was thinking that I could put into a talk what would help other people that want to get into DevRel. So I created this golden rules talk for DevRel. And what has happened in the last year is that I got into fitness. I mean, of course, because we are going through lockdowns and we are kind of have to stay at home. One thing that happens here in the UK is that you could always leave your house to do sport once a day. I mean, that was the first lockdown. So I used that to start running. And after that first lockdown, I also started to be more doing, more fit. Of course, I had better fitness. I lost, I think, over 14 kilos in the last year, and then I got really into swimming as well. And from swimming, I started to follow, of course, the different people in the swimming community, and somehow also my personality led me to kind of improve in swimming, looking at different strokes and techniques and whatnot. And I learned about these. The book that originally inspired me to cover this topic, and this is a book that was written by a coach, a swimming coach, and he decided to share all these little tips around achieving, your vision over time. And I mean, the main reason for me to read this book is because Bob Bowman, who is the author, was the lifelong coach for Michael Phelps, which is Olympic swimmer. If you are not aware, but yeah, it's quite interesting story. And I decided to buy the book, and then I saw there were a lot of parallelisms with DevRel. And if you think about it, DevRel has no, I mean, if you think how you learn the skills for DevRel, you basically need to go on your own and kind of an explorer and find out by yourself as you go. And I thought that this talk could be a nice overview of what has worked for me and also what may work for you if you want to start that journey that I started myself 6 years ago. And yeah, that's a little bit of a background of myself and also the topic of this talk.
Yeah, thank you, Gerard. It's very amazing your experience and your story. Now currently you are working for the mainly for communities, right? So and now you're based in UK. Have you ever attended DevRelCon London or DevRelCon San Francisco?
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, all
So
right.
I knew about DevRelCon
Mm-hmm,
by attending
mm-hmm,
DevRelCon, one of the DevRelCon conferences in London,
mm-hmm.
and I was really lucky that someone had a ticket, so
Yeah.
I was invited,
Mm-hmm,
and then I realized that I knew the organizer
mm-hmm,
of DevRelCon, and I knew him from QCon,
mm-hmm,
and he was also the kind of the responsible of the JavaScript track at QCon London. And yeah, I didn't know about the conference, but from that event I followed.
mm-hmm,
And then I did a talk at DevRelCon San Francisco
mm-hmm,
in 2019, I think,
mm-hmm,
that I go about my experience of creating communities. So
mm-hmm,
if you are interested on learning more about that, with more specifics, then you can check the video
mm-hmm,
of 2019, I think,
mm-hmm.
DevRelConf San Francisco.
Oh, I see. Actually, I also went to the Broken San Francisco
Oh, cool.
2019, but unfortunately, actually I sent my CFP,
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Well,
but not decided.
well,
Right.
it's nothing to be discouraged.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, that's also something to share,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that a lot of new the people starting
Mm-hmm.
in DevRel, they
Mm-hmm.
may get discouraged, and
Yeah.
if I don't get picked for a conference, I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay next time. I mean, I'm not going
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
anywhere.
Exactly. Exactly.
I can I can try again, and then
Mm-hmm.
I know that maybe I can also improve the talk. So maybe I
Mm-hmm.
don't give, maybe it's not this year. It can be the
Right.
next year.
Right. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's nothing to be discouraged,
Mm-hmm.
not to be selected.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And you talked the Broken Tokyo. 2021. Your talk title is the Golden Rules for Developer Relations, right?
Yes,
So it's
yes.
an amazing title and very interesting for all of the developer guys. So I strongly recommend every developer guy should attend your session on the day.
Thank you.
Yeah, because of the you have a great career, developer relations, not only community, therefore or more or any activities. The public speakers, lecturers, blogger, or something like
Right,
that. Yeah.
right. Some people may not know,
Hmm.
but when I started DevRel,
Hmm.
I left my job. That was a
Yeah.
little bit crazy. That was a little
Hmm.
bit crazy, but I was confident that I could, I could succeed in DevRel, and then I also knew that I couldn't do half time. I
Hmm.
couldn't do, maybe a percentage of my time, and I just wanted to focus, and
Hmm.
I did a lot of trainings. I mean, that was my income. My
Hmm.
income for 4 or 5 years was doing trainings. So I would go to a conference, I would present my talk, and
Hmm.
then the way I was kind of surviving was convincing the
Hmm.
organizers that I
Hmm.
could also do
Yeah.
a workshop.
Yeah.
Because
Why?
that was my income, so i
Uh-huh.
couldn't i couldn't earn money from the talk.
Yeah.
Obviously, because nobody is paying for the talks. At least
Hmm.
most of the conference are not paying
Yeah.
for the talks, so I had to do something to
Hmm.
be able to survive. So
Hmm.
I mean, it's not that easy if you think about it, because
Hmm.
if you are working, you are busy. So
Yeah. Yeah.
how you transition into
Hmm.
DevRel
Hmm.
without having enough time to practice the
Hmm.
skill?
Hmm.
So it's I think it's hard. So I wanted to give what I think can help you in that journey.
Right, right. It's great, great. So, I'm looking forward to listen your session on the day. Fortunately,
Cool.
my track is for your session track, so I can
Perfect.
I can see your talk the real time. Okay,
Nice,
so
nice.
yeah, great. So unfortunately, this interview session, the time's up. So
Yeah,
if
I understand.
yeah, if no more topics you want to say for the audiences, I would like to bring this session to a close.
Okay, okay. Well, I
Hmm.
would say that in my experience, for
Yep.
anyone that is
Hmm.
watching,
Hmm.
uh, because I wasn't familiar with the conference,
Hmm.
DevRelCon, and I think that DevRelCon is doing a great job uh, making all of the content around DevRel to be, in good shape and up to date. So I would, for anyone that is watching, to check all the great content that this conference has produced. Of course, coming to joining us for DevRelCon Tokyo, but
Hmm.
also the previous conferences, because there's a lot of good speakers and good
Hmm.
content. So if you are interested into knowing more what's been happening, I think this is a very good resource,
Hmm.
DevRelCon. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Great, great. Okay, so Gerard, thank you for your time today, and I hope you also will enjoy the Dragon Tokyo 2021 with us. Right?
Yeah. Looking
Yep.
forward for it. Thanks a lot for
Yeah,
inviting me.
great. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. See you again soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Hi, I'd like to announce again that our conference at DevRelCon Tokyo 2021 will be held on June 5th. Why don't you save the date? Thanks again, everyone. See you at the conference. Bye for now.